ladies and gentlemen, rock viewers from all around the world. Oh, it's the MPJ interview special, and have we probably got for me, the hottest rock chick currently in the market, currently shooting up those the charts. Sorry, Trish, I know you're the MPJ rock goddess, but we've got another rock goddess. It's Seraina Telli. Welcome to the show.
Hello, nice to be here. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Fantastic. So just to give viewers a background, we reviewed Addicted to Colour last year, and oddly enough, the month that we review it, you were supporting Visions of Atlantis down in Southampton. So we also got to see you. Got a picture of a signed autograph on my wall, which is fantastic. Your album Addicted to Love is in our top 50 of all-time albums.
Ta-da!
I know. Addicted to Love. I said it again, didn't I? I did. I am terrible. Addicted to Colour. But that's because we love it. Because we love it. That's why. Anyway, Addicted to Colour, it's our top 50 albums. It's in our Hall of Fame, and last year it got into our top albums of the year. It is our top 20 albums. We absolutely adored the album, and we adored you, and new to the scene. So welcome to the show. Obviously, now tell us a little bit about yourself then, in terms of where you've your kind of background, and what got you into rock music in the first place? So is it something that you always from a kid that was going to be your thing? And obviously now you've gone solo. Tell us, how did you get started in this industry?
It was actually pretty late. I always wanted to sing, but I grew up more on the countryside, and especially in Switzerland, it's like that. Like being a musician is not a normal job, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was always like more like a hobby, but I always had like this feeling I can't just do it like besides doing another job. I was learning a hairdresser, also I was a hairdresser before, and then I wanted to go to the jazz and rock school in Germany. So I decided to like really become a musician and like learn everything about it, about the theory stuff, and to write my own songs and everything. And then it started actually when I was almost 20, so pretty late. And into rock and metal music, I came like more. I was listening more to pop music when I grew up because I'm a 90s child, so. Bravo hits and everything.
Yeah.
But I always liked it, liked loud music and people who had like these big voices. And so I came, one day I came across metal and rock music, and I was like, yes, that's it. And the first band I really was a fan of was Disturbed, for example. And I was screaming my throat out in my room when I was little. And my mother always asked, what the hell are you doing? So it's kind of how it started, yes.
So did you until you were 20 then, you didn't play you didn't play the guitar or anything up until, so it was only when you got to 20 you went to music school, you actually started to learn how to play different instruments, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. So I was I learned a little piano when I was in school, but it was like 1 year or something. So I had like a little idea how to play that. And then when I decided to go to the music school, I started playing piano again. And I was also like writing down all the notes on my piano keys.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea of the whole theory stuff, so I had to learn it somehow. So I wrote it there.
Wow, because I've seen you play the guitar, and like that, you're pretty sassy. You're pretty cool, actually. So is guitar your favourite? I mean, what instruments can you play? Obviously, the piano, the guitar. What other instruments can you play then?
I just like to play bass sometimes,
Right.
but more like I really are not a bassist.
No.
But I like this instrument, and when I have ideas during songwriting or stuff, then I like to record the ideas with the bass, and then let it do from someone who really can play it. So yeah, it's that. It's piano, guitar, a little bass, and of course the singing. Yeah.
So, and when you were at music school, was the singing? Did the singing start to come into the fro? Did you have a little band at music school, or did you want to do solo? Was it always your dream to become a solo artist rather than working in a group?
Actually, I wasn't really think of that. If I'm alone or with a band or whatever, I always wanted to do music, and I wanted to write songs. I wanted to write lyrics. People that makes people think. So that was the goal, and actually it's also possible with a band. But in my case, it turned out to be a solo project now. But anyway, it's like it's the same work than I do with a band actually, because we are a band too, and I'm the songwriter anyway. So it's just now with this band, it's called like me. So everyone calls it a solo project, but it's still a band.
Yeah.
So I know Trish is a massive fan as well. Trish, I mean, I daren't not let Trish ask a question, Seraina. She'll be snarling at me, taking over. So rock chick to rock chick. Ask a couple of questions, Trish.
Okay. How do you go about writing your songs? What's your creative process?
It's pretty different from song to song, but usually I have like a spark. There's like a spark, and I know, I want to write something like that or about that, and then there's it can be like that I have an idea of lyrics of a part of it, or just like I want to write a song like that, or I have a riff in my mind, or yeah. So it's kind of the inspiration is everywhere.
Yeah. What do you hope people take away from your music?
First of all, I hope that they are happy when they listen to it, and that they feel better after they listen to it. So that's my biggest goal, and then also I write lyrics with about themes and stuff that concerns me. That's somehow about the social, how people are living together, and so of course I hope that the people will listen to that. And I also think that music is like one of the most powerful things on earth to like really make people think. So I think because of the music, people listen to the lyrics more.
Yeah, and they take from it what they want.
Yeah,
because obviously you have the speaking part in Addicted to Colour, where you talk about addiction, and obviously the stereotypical rock universe, which the more and more we talk to bands is becoming like it doesn't seem to happen anywhere near to the old days of drugs and booze and that sort of stuff as well, and very clearly you wanted to get across that message that actually the only thing you're addicted to is colour. So and do you feel that that's something that you want to continue in your music in terms of portraying a message about social conduct or social conscience, or just about leading your life as you see fit? So
and I think as soon as you are on stage, people see you and you're a role model, and I really want to be that. So I want to be a good role model, and that's also how I say it on this intro, that we are the new rock generation, because today we grow up with social media and phones filming you everywhere. So it's like it's another thing. Yeah. And I also think and I believe that rock music is not about drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. it's about being creative and that massive power. I think rock music is the most powerful music. Yeah, and that's what's fascinating for me on this music.
And what's the best advice that you've ever been given as a musician?
I right now think of an advice from a singing teacher I had on the jazz school, and he always said, when you record an album or anything, it's always just a thing you do right now, and it should be good for right now. And like a day after, you would do something else maybe, but do it for the how to say. For this moment.
Live in the moment.
Just do it. Yeah, kind of like that. But when it comes to recording.
Well, because artists, of course, can over perfect, and you can listen to it and go, oh, let's do it again, let's do this and let's do this, and ultimately it should be. I mean, we were interviewing an industrial metal band called Mantra a couple of years ago, and they basically. The best work they've ever done is because he signed a record deal and then thought he had months to sign it and literally had to produce it because when he recorded it they thought he'd had all the material written and they'd recorded everything and they hadn't, so they literally had 3 weeks to do it all, shoot a video in some cast in Romania, and it was a brilliant album, and I don't think they've actually got better. So actually when you're in the moment and you just go for it, I think sometimes people's best work rather than keep refining, etc. as well. But
I see that also often that people are they overthink all the time, and as I just said, they listen again and again, and what could we do? And in the end, it's like I have an idea, and I always try to take the first idea because it's for some reason I had this idea. So
yes.
and take this first idea and then make it like you had it in your mind at the very first time you thought of it, and not changing it all the time, because music is like that. There is no right or wrong. It's always the decision the songwriter makes. So
because we rate our albums based on our listening pleasure, and there's like 9 of us in total, and some of us love metalcore, others don't. Other people like a softer kind of, and others don't. And actually, it's for So when an album gets into our top, gets into our Hall of Fame, it's because it seems to have ticked, and it's in the moment. And people say, "Well, how did you rate this album technically?" But we don't rate an album technically. We like what we heard at the time of actually listening to it, and how much pleasure do we get from listening to it. And different albums will have that different thing. And I think that a lot of the rock community like that little bit of rawness. They don't want overproduced albums. They want which is why live albums are quite popular and stuff. But they like that little bit of edginess. They like that bit of rawness. And it's quite interesting because we interview a lot of bands, and there's a very interesting question about how the process about writing it. Because I was watching bizarrely, I watched Rocket Man with Elton John the other night. It was on TV. It was a great film, and it's quite amazing that Bernie would write the lyrics, and their process was always lyrics first, and then the music came afterwards, and then he would write the music to the lyrics. And it just seems to me that all the bands that we interview, a lot of them go, no, it's the music gets written and then we write the lyrics to fit the music, which I find bizarre. So it's quite interesting. You're one of the first ones that say you have a little bit of both to that process, but
I think it's also not, the lyrics are also not the most important thing, because sometimes also music can inspire the lyrics. So I did also write a song once. I had the whole song was written because I knew how it should sound. I started and then I ended it, and it was like it was finished. And then I was like, okay, what does that sound? How does it sound? And I wrote the lyrics to that. So that's also interesting. I think it's music inspires the lyrics and lyrics inspires the music. So both is very important.
So I know you were kind of in that amazing band Burning Witches before you kind of went solo. Was it Was it a big thing to go? Was it? How confident did you feel going in as creating your own band and to go solo? Was that incredibly nerve-wracking, or was that something that you were confident that you were good enough and that's what you were going to do?
Yeah, of course. So I just wanted to do it, and I do what I want. So that was kind of the purpose. And of course, it's always so sorry, I sometimes can't think of the words in English.
That's okay.
I mean, it's not easy to do something like from the beginning again, and then there was also Corona. So right now you can't even say is it good or is it not good, because you can't compare the things anymore, because the whole music scene is like totally different than before the pandemic, which is also a good thing actually, because now we can just work and we do our stuff and we see, okay, people like it, and that's the only thing that matters. So I put something out and people like it. It's the act is growing, like everywhere we play, people like it. So that's the only thing that matters.
And how did you go about that process? Did you go, right, I've got to create my own band? Did you then, did you know people that you were already going to recruit, or did you just advertise for the various different parts of the band? How does that process, how did you go about that process in terms of going, right, I'm going on my own and I'm going to need a drummer, I'm going to need a bassist, I'm going to need etc. Because obviously the lyricism and the songwriting was, I presume, predominantly all yourself, but how did you go about creating that band?
Yeah, that's actually the worst thing on being a musician, to find the right people, really, because it's like it's like you want to have a family, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just.
I was going to say it's finding that fit.
Yeah, it's not just you need a bassist and then you take someone who plays the bass. So that's it, but that isn't it. So you need a brother. You need someone who goes with you, who likes what you do, who loves what you do actually, who wants to sit in a bus with you like hundreds of hours. I mean, that's something a lot of people don't see. We right now we spend more time in the bus all together than at home.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And that's very important, and it's also something I learned, and I will not do any more work with people I don't really like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even a bit. I want the really right people and the perfect match. And this is very hard to find. But a good thing for me was I was working with Mike Malott, the drummer, already for my progressive rock band, Dead Venus. You maybe know about that too. And we worked together since years, and we are just a great team. And so I had like most of the band already together. So it's the guitar which I play and the drums. So we really just had to find a bassist for the moment to play the live shows and stuff. So that was something we could do. But I was also working with, or still am working with different people, because we play everything, like in Switzerland, in Germany, in Spain. So right now I have 2 bassists, and really new is now that we have a 4th member who plays the second guitar. And so that was the journey goes on.
Brilliant.
Looking for other people. Yeah.
Now, obviously, you say you were doing it music, so you came to music into the music when you were 20. So I mean, you can't be more than 6 or 7 years in the industry now. You look so young. So so who was if you were listening to rock music at the time, then who would you say would be your biggest influence in terms of a rock band that goes, oh my god, that's who I want to be? Who was your biggest influence?
Actually, I can't tell anymore. And it was also in the beginning, it was so many different people and artists, and also not only from rock music. It was jazz singers, pop musicians, metal, rock, funk. I was a big fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers, for example. I was also listening to a band called Deer and Grey, like a Japanese death metal band, really hard shit. I was listening and singing a lot of jazz music and yeah.
Very eclectic range by the sound of it. So.
It is in the end, and I also I read from Geddy Lee, from Rush. He once said that you want to become an artist, and at one point there is like so many influences you can't even tell anymore, and that's where you want to be. So then you created your own sound because you don't even know anymore where it comes from.
Oh, totally. I mean, I have to narrow down. When we get to the 16 albums that we're going to review in a month, I have to narrow it down to about from 50, and I can only listen to kind of 1 or 2 songs from each album to kind of get my shortlist. And there's a lot of what I call generic rock. It's just generic. It's the same thing as I was listening to in the 80s or 90s. There's nothing different on this. I'm always looking for something, trying to be, something a little bit different. Some generic rock albums are fantastic and will kind of, that sort of sound will still make the list. But so are you listening do you listen to other people's music now? And what are you listening to right now in terms of?
Right now, I listen to Foo Fighters a lot. Also, the new Pearl Jam album is great.
Just listen to it. Love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm a big fan, and but also like Judas Priest is like always coming up again. Then I'm a huge fan of Opeth, which is more like for my progressive rock side.
Yeah,
I love it, and Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Lately, I was listening to the songs, and I knew it from the past, I realized now how cool the songs are and how good of a singer she is. So
I'm so glad you haven't mentioned the new Taylor Swift double album, with 31 tracks.
That's really not my thing. So
no.
I know a few things from Taylor Swift, but it's really not my kind of stuff. So.
The latest Judas Priest album is not fantastic, unfortunately, and I was a massive Priest fan back in the day, massive. So you're doing a lot of actually. A sort of question did pop in my mind because we have this argument all the time because you say you like progressive rock. In your mind, then, what is progressive rock as opposed to normal rock or indie rock?
Yep.
How do you define progressive rock?
For me, progressive rock starts then when you don't follow rules anymore. You know what I mean? So we still are in rock music, so with a lot of guitar and powerful vocals, but it's not like you don't follow a genre anymore. So for me, when I write progressive rock music, there is like even more influences coming in. I do what I want, so I do a lot of odd meter stuff. Very long songs. But also, in progressive rock, there is so many different bands. You can't say it sounds like that, but that's also why I really like that term. Because people want to know, what kind of music is that? And you say, it's progressive rock for my other band, for example, and they still don't know, but you said something, you know what I mean?
I think the problem with progressive rock, a lot of what term is progressive is a bit slow and dirgy, and so progressive rock tends to have that label that people just like, oh god, this is dull and it's so slow and that's the point I'm making, because we Avenged Sevenfold last year with their new album, which was incredibly progressive. It was a crazy album. We were going afterwards. We loved it, but what was going on? We don't know. It's mad if you ever listen to it, but very much kind of more upbeat, kind of wacky, kind of progressive rock. But yeah, okay. Yeah,
or listen to Rush. I mean,
I saw Rush. I'll just say it out there. I saw them in London in the 80s and at the time,
I'm jealous.
Oh, at the time they had this amazing light show, which was like way ahead of anything else back in the 80s. and they were like, they were just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see that you're touring a heck of a lot. You're currently going to be on tour in Switzerland, Germany. So tell us a little bit about what's coming up in the next kind of couple of months for you then, in terms of we know you're back in London in October supporting with Illumishade, I believe, and Vision of Atlantis.
Yes.
So what's the plan between now and then for you then, in terms of touring and stuff?
So in spring and summer we have a lot of shows in Switzerland, a lot of festivals, so like every week, but it will be a little more quiet than right now because it's in Switzerland. It's not that far away. Right now we really are like from Wednesday usually we are already on the road again and play, except for this week now. But because it's like driving through Germany is much Germany's much bigger than Switzerland, so but there will be shows every weekend still. So, and then in September, we already start with the Visions of Atlantis too.
A busy time coming up, really. No time for rest.
And that's only touring.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also I'm writing songs for the new album.
I was going to say, is there any new music coming in the pipeline?
Yes, and we also release now every month a new song from the acoustic, the unplugged. Project with the features, which is awesome, but it's also a lot of work, but it's really cool.
And how did the tour with the Vision of Atlantis come about? Is that through personal contacts, or was that through record companies or agents? How did that happen?
We were playing with them last year in the UK, 5 shows, and it was like really short notice. So we heard that we can play with them, and we just did it. So it just packed our stuff, and then it's kind of a trial thing, because we are not in the same label. We're not at Napalm Records. Yeah. But my producer knows people from there, so he could like deal something with him. So we could go on this tour in the UK, and really I have to say we really fell in love with each other somehow. So it was such a great time, and I was also always in contact with the people. We played another acoustic show with them in the end of last year, and they just told us like they like us, that they always want to play with us, and so.
Oh, that's so cool.
They are amazing.
I guess
they've got a new album coming out in July as well, which awesome. Is Pirates 2, which we're super excited about. But they're amazing. I guess. Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, I guess like you were saying, Seraina, like with the band, you've got to be comfortable with who you're being on that bus with, and I guess it's the same when you're touring with another band as well. You've got to be able to get along and fit together.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
So new album. When do you think you're looking at getting a new album? By the end of the year, beginning of next year? What's the timeline for a new album then?
I can tell you right now. We just have the intern dates, but it's we will
in the pipeline.
In the pipeline, yeah. So I'm working on the demos right now, and then we do like all the instruments and stuff. So but we have some more time than for the other albums, which is great actually, to really like also be creative and stuff.
Also, were you up for an award for like the new Swiss artist or something, or are you up for an award?
Yeah, female vocalist.
Yeah.
Yes, female artist actually.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest award you can get in Switzerland, music award. So this is very cool.
Yeah.
And for like a young artist, it's awesome to be nominated. And now we see it's the awards are on May 8th, and then I will find out if I have it or not.
Well, and of course, if you do have it, because a week later is the Eurovision Song Contest. And if you win this, then who knows? Maybe they'll invite you. Maybe they'll ask you to represent Switzerland.
That would be awesome, actually.
Would you do it? Would you do it if Switzerland? If you had the opportunity to represent Switzerland at the Eurovision Song Contest, seeing how because we just did Blind Channel review, and they finished 6th in the Eurovision, and their album's amazing. So the opportunity would come up. Would you take it? Would you jump at the chance to represent your country at Eurovision?
Yeah, of course. That's actually something from my bucket list.
Well, hey,
cool.
If you get on there, you gotta give us tickets, okay? You gotta give us
the Eurovision will be part of my life one day.
Fantastic! I love it. I love the the pageantry.
Eurovision.
I love the. I just love. I'm a massive fan of Eurovision.
Yeah, I mean,
because we always finish apart from the year before, we tend to finish last, but it's just hilarious. It's just
It's
and it's so interesting to see like other cultures also.
Exactly.
What kind of music they do. So it's really different sometimes, and really interesting. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Seraina Telli, it has been an absolute blast talking to you tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank
it's been amazing.
So much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we look forward to your album when it comes out, maybe end of the year next year, and hopefully you'll be getting again into our Hall of Fame. You are an amazing performer. You really blew me away. It was definitely. I mean, I say Rizon Atlantis was probably my best concert last year, but I think you as a support act made it even more special. And I think it was probably my gig, definitely my gig of last year, and probably my top 5 gigs. And nobody could still beat David Lee Roth when I watched him in the 80s. That was my all-time gig. Nothing's going to top that. That would be a bit special, but that gig was fantastic. So thank you very much for joining us. And
good luck for the award on the 8th.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and look forward to seeing you in Eurovision in the future.
And I will see you in October in London.
Oh, cool.
And I hope you come back again and talk to us next year when you release a new album. It would be great to talk to you again. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Goodbye. Thank you to everybody.
Much.
Please.
Thank you too.
Hit the like and subscribe button, Seraina. Please tell people. What do people got to do?
Hit the like and subscribe button now.
Do it right now. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.